It's Cook Like a Caveman. Hi, I'm Larry. Awesome episode today. I am cooking the King, the Lord, the proof that there is a creator, whether you believe or not.
Our dinner.
I'm cooking prime rib.
Our dinner.
Our dinner, as Grace has just... Today's episode is properly caffeinated. In meat, there's always a tenderloin. Beef tenderloin, pork tenderloin, even chicken tenderloin, lamb tenderloin. Every creature has a tenderloin. But none have been named the flavor loin. And I believe the prime rib should be called that, if it wasn't already called the prime rib. So we're just going to dive right in. What we have here is about a 7-pound, 6.5 pound prime rib. It's on sale for $5.99 a pound, and this came to $35. So 5 pounds, 5-pound prime rib. So what we have is enough dinner for me and my family. There's a little bit of butchery involved here, and I know you can do it. Because like I say, if I can do it, you sure can do it. So get out your butcher block, your cutting board. What we're going to do is there are 3 strings here holding the ribs together. It's on most meat, it's more so for show. Prime rib is, you can cook a prime rib that doesn't have any strings on it. But we're going to cut the strings off and we're going to restart it. Okay, there is a term in meat cutting called saddling, and that's what we're going to do. You got your 1, 2, 3 ribs here. You're going to take your knife, and you're going to cut along here. If you are not comfortable using a knife this close to your hands, by all means, go to your local butcher supply or restaurant supply store and get either a cut-resistant glove or a mesh glove. I have a mesh glove. You can get them for about $35. So, there. That wasn't hard, was it? We have the rib part, and I left a little meat on it because nothing is better than ribs off a prime rib. And you have your main muscle. Now, okay, we're going to talk brief. I'm going to do another prime rib episode, but we'll talk briefly. So, that's a prime rib roast. If you slice it under 2 inches thick, it's a rib steak. Like this, it's a Delmonico. Take this tail off. It's called a ribeye, but it's not a ribeye. This muscle here, this one here, that is the ribeye. If a store were to properly sell ribeye, it would just be this piece here. It would be tied or wrapped. And it would probably be as expensive as beef tenderloin and 100 times better. This muscle here is the cap. It's a little tougher than the eye, but still got a lot of flavor. It's part of what makes a prime rib a prime rib. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to season it. And if you remember, we made our rub. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lightly spread here on one side. Okay? And then the meating surface, just go like that. And I'll work it in a bit. See? Seasoned all through the inside. And now what I'll do, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take string. I'm going to put 3 or 4 strings on. Now, one of the big advantages of saddling is that once you're done cooking, you cut the strings, and the bone and the meat separates right off the bat, so all you have to do is slice boneless meat. You're not fighting with a bone while you carve table side. String 2. And you know what? When you get prime rib at home like this, where it's already been stringed, you can just follow the strings that exist. And that. and the third one. I'll do this one a little slower. I have done an episode, a Caveman Minute, where I've shown you how to tie a string, but I'll show you again. Okay, so you have your reel of string. We'll call that the long end. So the long end goes closer to your thumb. The short end goes to the tips of your fingers. You with me so far? Okay, so you're going to roll under to create a loop. The short end is going to go through that loop, and you're going to tighten it up. And then with the long end in your left hand, you are going to tighten her up. And then you're going to create a loop here. Bring the short end through. Cut and you're done. Easy as that. But we're not done here yet. And it's 9 in the morning. So we'll grab more seasoning. We'll rub it around. Now, sometimes, one thing people do... Now, look at that. Look at that for a second. Can you see that? Can you see the marbling on that? This is a AAA piece of prime rib. There's no doubt in my mind this is AAA. And it's that flecks of marbling, the white in the sea of red meat, that is going to give all the flavor. And you are going to eat this, and you're going to have a beer or a glass of wine with it. And you are going to think this is the best roast that you've ever had. And keep rubbing. In here, you can season this if you want, but there's more bone than meat. I'm not going to. We've seasoned on the inside. That's going to give tons of flavor. So, we're done there. We'll take a minute to caffeinate. So we've cut, saddled, tied, and seasoned our prime rib. So what we're going to do right now, you have to trust me on this one, and you have to trust your butcher. I got these cookie cooling sheets from the dollar store. I like the dollar store. I'm cheap. So we set it on top of a pan. We're going to take our prime rib, which we've just seasoned. We're going to set it on there. It's 9:30 in the morning. We're done till 4 o'clock. You're going to leave it there. The room temperature heat, the warmth of the room temperature, is going to let the seasoning permeate into the muscle. It's going to be fine. Bacteria will not build up. You don't have a whole lot to worry about. If it were 4 or 5 days, and if it were touching meat, and if it were soaked in water, then yes, there would be a bacteria buildup. You will get sick and you will die. But if you can keep meat surrounded by air, so the water gets away, you got nothing to worry about. That's the whole concept of charcuterie and drying meats. The air cures it, and the salt. You replace heat with time, as I've mentioned in many episodes. So we're going to leave that there till about 4 o'clock when we get ready to cook dinner. And we'll be back. So here's what we got so far. The prime rib has been resting on this rack at the dollar store for about 7 hours. Look at it. It's drying out. The salt is doing exactly what it's supposed to do in the seasonings. And now we're going to get it in the oven. Oven just went off, 500 degrees. And I'm going to have it rest on some vegetables. And I'll show you what I got. So in here I got some carrots, some onions, some celery. Very simple stuff. What it's going to do is it's going to provide a layer, so the roast isn't actually sitting on the bottom of the pan. And it will impart a lot of flavor into the roast and into what will eventually be the gravy. So, this bad boy goes in here, like so. And it goes in the oven. 500 degrees for 10 minutes. Okay, welcome back. Oh, well, you didn't go anywhere. About an hour and a half has gone by. The prime rib is in the oven. The buzzer just went off. It should be done. Let's take a look. It smells beautiful. Potatoes are done. We'll set them up there. And what I'll do, when in doubt, check the temperature. You might have a little ways to go. Okay, so it's not quite done. We're going to give it another little 10 or 15 minutes, and then we'll be done. So we're letting it rest for a bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out of the roasting pan. I didn't add any juice or anything, and it looks like I didn't lose a whole lot of moisture in the roast, so there's really nothing there for gravy. That's okay. Barbecue sauce is good today. And I can do another prime rib video anytime I want. Technology's awesome, isn't it? So we'll grab a plate and we'll put her on. And I'm going to make all you guys jealous. So remember what I did earlier today when I saddled the roast. So take my knife, cut the strings. Off comes one. Oh my god. Ha 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 ha.
Does it have any?
Holy. Oh man. And that was just a piece of fat. So check that out. Comes off, and what we're doing is we're letting it rest. Now it's medium, which is perfect. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to throw this on a different plate. Because that's my dinner. Check it out. Check it out, guys. Okay, that's the end piece. It's a nice, well done. It's good for Brandon. Medium well. And the further in we go, the closer to medium we get. This, you know what, this is the perfect roast. If I were on death row, I would ask for this roast. Now, a 5-pound roast does sound like a little much for 4 people. Especially when one of them is only 2 years old.
Almost 2.
Almost 2.
A week yesterday.
But this is what you get to do when you watch ads and you create a level of knowledge that lets you realize that savings are out there. One of the things I keep impressing on you guys is watch your ads, watch the cycles in the ads. Everything goes on sale all the time at your favorite retailer. You don't have to shop place to place. You just have to know when the things are on sale and buy accordingly. Every 6 or 8 weeks, boneless chicken breast will go on ad. Buy it then. Buy enough to last you 2 or 3 weeks. And so right here, you see my plate. I've got the prime rib bones, 3 ribs. I've got a piece of the cap that I'm going to try in a second. A baked potato. Good to go. And the world's first genetically modified food, corn. So what I'm going to do for you guys is I'm going to dig in. Cook perfectly. The flavor from that seasoning rub that I've made, it's not overpowering the meat. I definitely know it's prime rib. It's nice, it's tender. That's from starting at 500 degrees for 10 or 15 minutes. I'm backing it off. I did have to throw it in for a little longer, but that's okay. It's got a ton of flavor. As good as any steakhouse you're going to go to. Except for like Manhattan. I'm Larry. This has been Cooking Like a Caveman. And if this caveman can cook a meal this good, you sure as hell know you can too. We'll talk to you later.